Akko.
I can go smaller. Put it in the opening of the shoe.
Notice that, yeah.
Why don't you take a rook from my
Why don't you
chessboard?
put it in the little area that you would sit in if you could fit into the car from Monopoly?
Why don't you wedge it between the dog's legs? Why don't you take the top of my rook on my chessboard and just kind of just glaze the top of that?
This guy was so small. He used the rook as a castle.
Yeah, he's a small guy, I tell you.
Have you ever heard the Rodney Dangerfield that you can get on Spotify from like 1966?
No.
Still funny.
It is. It always makes me laugh.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
I heard him on XM radio, and he was asking the audience for questions, and like, boom, boom, boom. And there couldn't be any plants. There was too many.
Rodney, can you still get it up? I don't know. Ask your wife.
Hey. A lot of people went out and bought Hello Dummy just because of our conversation.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
And they can't figure. Has anybody been able to figure it out?
I don't think anybody wants to. I think it's a perfect
Hawaiian.
puzzle. Yeah. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just they don't care about figuring it out. Like the fact that he has a live album and decides to do crowd work and it's only 38 minutes long. Like you buy an album. We touched on this last time, but we'll do it again because it's been a year, Mr. Gull. Monty Gullman, at Gary Gullman on Twitter. It's so bizarre. Like, okay, I finally got my live album. My CD's coming out, and I'm just gonna do crowd work where the listener can't see anyone. Like, oh, look at this. I never entertained the Mountie, huh?
Oh my God.
And then we came to like an epiphany of the brilliance of it because the listener, and that was the thing that people came piling in on Twitter. As a listener of Hello Dummy by Rodney, you sit at home alone. By Rickles. You sit at home alone, and you have to picture each person. Boy, this surfboard ain't running right. Like, you got to picture a black guy not wanting to confess to being black, so he says he's Hawaiian.
But did we discuss the idea? This mother surfboard, but he can't say motherfucker. That's another beautiful thing. This mother surfboard ain't running right. Obviously, he never met any black person, but the question is...
Neither did any writer of any sitcom ever.
Right.
Look, Turkey. Oh, I don't know what the haps is with your rants, but it is time to gizzo, honey.
But do you remember the Fat Albert lingo? And that was, I assume, written by Bill Cosby. But they would all their put downs were acronyms. You are NCAA. What does that mean? No class at all.
You're like a school on vacation. Yes. No class. A lot of stuff having to do with class.
Yeah, the class was a very important thing. And something that no longer exists anymore. When was the last time you referred to one of your friends or a guy that you met? Say Brian Koppelman. He's a really classy guy. He's a class act. You can't teach class.
I say it in the affirmative routinely. I don't know if I've ever said it in the negative.
I use it sarcastically all the time. Ugh, classy.
I always go, he's just a class act.
Could Fred Blassie have ruined it?
No, I don't think Freddie Blassie. We got a lot of wrestling podcasts. We had Rob Van Dam. We got Mick Foley.
I'm behind, so I didn't get RVD, but yeah, Mick Foley's awesome.
Mick Foley was great. So that's how you're going to fix the economy. How? By scooping out guacamole with top hats from Monopoly boards?
No, I just
monocles.
I got some.
Serve it to me on a monocle, like caviar on a cracker. The monocle's what sets you back. You know, the guacamole. You know, that's like, but you got to find a guy with a monocle. And there's only like one Bud Friedman guy. Sorry.
I think it's the perspective. I haven't made any more money recently, but I realize that there are certain things that you have to be poor to appreciate. Like, I found a 20 in a jacket as I was switching from summer to fall weather. I brought out my fall jacket from the box.
Natch.
And I found a 20.
I'm sorry. I thought somebody just accidentally clicked on Gossip Girl. Just two straight guys talking about switching out their jackets from summer to fall.
But wait, by the way, Todd Glass and I have decided that he says, hey, in 10 years, if we're not married, do you want to get married? And I said, how about 2? How about 2 years?
Oh, you guys would be great,
wouldn't we? But it would have to be Ernie and Bert style because I'm still straight.
So what?
Yeah, right. That would be fine.
Yeah. You watch, I don't want to get into sexual stuff because I want this to be clean.
Yeah, but I found a 20.
You're like a super clean comic, which is so great. And for those of you listening, if you want a comic you can listen to like with your kids in the room anything Gary Gullman is completely safe. He's like Brian Regan clean. He's great.
I don't know that I'm Brian Regan clean, but
just go with it.
All right. All right.
At the end of the day, comparatively. And if there's corporation people out there that want a guy that can do corporate gigs, Gullman's your man.
If you need a corporate gig, I'm always available too. I mean, I don't want to disparage Gary Gullman, but I do a lot of corporate gigs too.
Was that Mike Tyson?
No, that was Leno. No?
Oh. Yeah, a little. Now that you said it,
yeah. In context, Tyson doesn't do a lot of corporate gigs. I did something for Tupperware recently. Sitting
in that, now it's perfect.
All right.
I had to nudge you over.
Yeah.
You were way out of the nest, and I'm like, all right. I'll wake up and get room service breakfast like a boss. Like I'm like, yeah, cheddar cheese omelet. Give me some toast, coffee. Would you like some juice, Mr. Mohr? You know what? I would like some juice. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to walk down to the bodega and get some granola and yogurt. Because that's like $8 compared to like a $30 room service breakfast. So I do that too. Where I used to not care. Like when you have a sitcom, you just literally light cigars with money.
Oh my God.
Or I prefer to I smoke money and I light it with a cigar.
I like that.
I just roll up a 20 and put it in my mouth like a joint. And then I just take a big Cuban cigar.
Yeah.
And I just light the cigar, and then I just smoke money.
So wait, I found the 20, which is, it's a lot to me, a 20.
Yeah.
But if I was a billionaire like Gates, a 20 is nothing. Right?
Right.
Do you know what he has to? I figured this out. Do you know what he has to find in an old coat to feel like I did with a $20 bill?
I don't.
And let's also acknowledge the idea that if Bill Gates has an old coat,
it's because he's ironic.
Right. Or it's the coat that Abe Lincoln was shot in. And he was
cold theater.
But he wears it as a bathrobe.
Yeah.
He wears it as a
yeah, because that is the hole for the sash.
Right. No.
Oh,
no underwear.
I'm thinking of Governor Connolly.
No underwear.
Sorry. There's no hole in the coat when he gets shot.
It's only 100 years old.
Sorry. There's no hole in Abe Lincoln's coat. I'm sorry, except the buttonholes. There you go. Woo!
Any fun?
Men at work. Hot soup coming through. Let these guys deal their cards.
So he
Abe Lincoln's coat on Bill Gates is awesome.
And he's careless with it, I would think. Oatmeal, little dried egg yolk. Which, do you know how hard it is to get dried egg yolk out of Civil War era worsted wool?
No, I don't.
And here's he doesn't wear underwear with it, maybe.
Just wears the coat.
Wears the coat.
Like he's in like About Last Night with Rob Lowe and like weird like an 80s romantic movie. It's always like shirt, no pants. There's no worse look for a man.
His polished billionaire balls just swinging willy-nilly.
Oh my God! You think he had polished? He's dead, isn't he?
Bill Gates?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Steve Jobs. I was thinking of.
Jobs is a lot of people confuse.
Yeah.
He's the living Steve Jobs.
Bill Gates looks like an up and running Stephen Hawking.
Yes. And he has the. Sorry. No, it's true.
I just enjoyed my work. I put cones down and I just started shoveling next to you.
It's true. So I figured out what he has to find in an old coat.
All right, so you find $20 in an old coat, and that makes your day.
Made my weekend. My plans changed.
Days. Your plans changed?
My plans changed.
Okay. That's quite a find.
Yeah, because...
2 slices!
No, I brought Natterman and paid for him.
Oh.
Baller.
Straight baller. Dan Natterman with my Andy Pettit lips.
Yeah.
What's going on here? I have lips like Andy Pettit, except they're more glistening.
Pillows.
What's going on here?
So Gary Gullman's trading. Very nice, very nice. Listen, I'm not going to argue with it. It's,
I
remember when...
I'm shaking off Jorge Posada in Game 5.
I remember the first day of Last Comic, you telling us that we'd be sued for $5 million if we mentioned anything about the show, and Dan Natterman says, good luck collecting that. It was very ballsy. So yeah, my plans changed.
So Bill Gates has to find what? Like I can't even.
All right, so you do a ratio.
Hmm.
Do you remember ratios? X
Yeah,
is to
yeah.
All All right, well, you don't like algebra. I remember this.
Yeah, but I remember them.
ABBA. All right. Anyway, gang. So $20 is to my net worth. But if you use...
See, I always go by the gross. That's my problem. I'm like, that's what I got paid at the club. That's what I'm going by. Yeah, but after manager fees and tax, I don't care. That's what they paid me. I make a good living. That's my quote.
Yes, I don't count travel.
Never.
Before travel, before
worst.
I pay the opener,
No.
everything. It's all gross. But the issue with dividing by my net worth is that if I remember correctly, you're not allowed to divide by zero. I think you get I think the devil pops out of your calculator if you divide by zero.
Or just spells out boobs. How many words could you make with your calculator?
I could make shell. I could make boobless.
Shell?
That was it.
Boobless?
Boobless, yeah.
Wow.
Boobless was a great one.
I'm guessing 7-3. I'm like, I immediately pick up my phone like, I got to do it too. Because we're children. 3 guys at a table frantically grabbing their phones. That's hysterical. I got to put it down. No, we all have them in our phones. That's what we all started laughing once we figured out you could write boobless.
Boobless. Boobs was enough. And then when I discovered boobless.
Yeah, but what?
And I remember there was like a joke associated with it.
That one I can't do much.
So you can't divide by zero. So if you use the median net worth for men of 40 in this country, which is 100,000. Doesn't that sound high?
That does sound very high.
Net worth.
Well, you got to keep in mind
That most
one
people,
Bill Gates obliterates 100 million.
You would have to win a $100 million Mega Millions jackpot every week for 600 consecutive weeks. 600
To what?
To be worth $59 billion. That's what Bill Gates is worth.
All right, so break this down again.
A $100 million Mega Millions jackpot every week.
So Monday, you get your $100 million check.
Yeah, for 600 consecutive weeks. But that type of streak, just historically, very rare. It makes DiMaggio look like a pussy, right?
Yeah. Maggio oddly hit it 3 times. Between hitting Marilyn Monroe's vagina and face.
But did you ever hear the
Well, I meant with his fists.
Yeah, but there's
The second one.
But why is he
I
so-
should really clean that up.
Why is
I meant
DiMaggio-
DiMaggio was abusive to Marilyn Monroe. I didn't mean he was using his private parts to hit Marilyn Monroe in the face with it.
But he could. But why was DiMaggio so angry? It's because he had this thing where he said he gives it his all every day in case there's one kid. Do you know this one?
Yeah, he dove
Only
for a
got
ball.
to see him once
Yeah.
in his life.
Wait, all right, you want to know what happened? The circumstances of that quote? The Yankees had clinched the playoffs, and he was just playing out the string. So it was like
Yeah.
8 games, maybe last game of the season. And there's a ball in the gap, and DiMaggio like sprints and makes like this crazy diving catch. And Casey Stengel's like, "Whoa, that's okay, Joe." They take him out of the game.
Yeah.
He goes, "Why do you dive?" The reporter's like, "Why would you dive? Nothing's on the line."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Because there might be a boy in the stands that never saw Joe DiMaggio play baseball." Sorry.
But do you think
That's a
that
way
that
better
type
quote.
that
Yeah.
type of attitude?
If he said football, it is a better quote. Because there might be one little boy out there that never saw Joe DiMaggio play football. And they all just go, murmur, murmur.
That's, but maybe that contributed to him being such a prickly pear that he was performing for this kid who, despite the fact that it was a dime to get into Yankee Stadium in those days, he only came to one game. He could have taken the day off and spent it sleeping with Marilyn Monroe, but he's got to go out there and dive for this selfish little prick who only came to one game.
To put that in perspective, back then in like the 1940s, that kid to get into Yankee Stadium would have had to hit, to make Joe DiMaggio money, would have had to hit the $1.40
The numbers?
number
What's the
every
number?
Monday for 6 consecutive weeks.
Okay.
And it was a big number.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So what's the Bill Gates number?
All right.
But you do ratios, right?
Yeah, so $20 is to $100,000 as X is to 59 billion. Then you cross multiply and solve for X. His 20, he has to reach in and pull out of Abe Lincoln's coat a $12 million bill.
Right.
That's his 20.
Did
But
you
you're
really
not-
do the math on this?
Yes, I swear to God. But you don't
Boston
have to.
College.
But you don't.
Boston University.
But here's the thing.
Which
You're
one?
not going to forget Boston College. You're not going to forget. That's 600,000 20s. What you're not going to forget? An old coat. Because when you lift it back